Okay, we're going to do another coronavirus reading. This coronavirus thing is crazy. I'm going to do 3 quick readings with the Marseille, the Trumps of the Marseille Tarot. It's this deck. I think I must have cut these down. No, I didn't cut these down. I'm not sure if I cut them down or not. If I did cut them down, I did a beautiful job. Okay, so we're going to do the Marseille. We're going to do a 3-card pull. We're going to check 3 things. Today I want to check the first part will be coronavirus in the entire United States. The next one will be the coronavirus in New York State. And the third one will be the coronavirus and how it relates to Mr. Trump. I continue to watch him every day at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock, but he never shows up till 6 o'clock. Oh boy. Okay, so let's do that. So the first one we're going to read is the coronavirus in the country. As it stands now, there's hot spots, but the hot spots are spreading to inside the interior of the country. It was first in Washington State, then it was in California, then it was New York State. It seemed to be coastal, but now it's spreading to places like New Orleans. There was a news bit on Albany, Georgia, small town. It's wiping it out. I mean, this is going to wipe out. They're still not safe in place or stay in place throughout the country. It's only if the governor wants it, and that's deadly. It's deadly. Anyway, so let's check about the country. Coronavirus for the country. Okay, so here we have Temperance, the World, and the Lovers. Temperance, we're doing a past, present, and future. And for the country, it doesn't look too bad, actually. But let's look at this a little bit longer. Now, Temperance is, of course, mixing 2 things together. It's called the Alchemy card. It's called the Art card. It's bringing opposites together. And I think Temperance is very apropos for this whole virus thing because it is bringing a lot of people together in many ways. People are changing their lifestyles. They're helping each other out. That's a really good thing. Now, this is the past. So, the country, to some extent, the majority of the country has been, hearing about the virus, and it hasn't really, it's sort of an intellectual idea. It's a story. It's not really pertaining to them, but that's not gonna necessarily stay that way. So here it is. They're hearing a lot of news about it. They're talking about it. It seems like they're dealing with it pretty well. Here we have the World card, and I mean the World card is the end of a cycle, and this could be an end of this cycle. In other words, it's no longer going to be distant. It's no longer going to be something out there. It's going to come home to them. It's a part of the world, and the world situation is going to come to every corner of the United States in one way or the other. And so this world pandemic is coming closer to the people that are maybe thought it was far away and not going to affect them. It is going to come closer. And how will this affect them? It's with the choices they make. It's all about choice, because you can't control people in every aspect of their lives. You just can't do it. So there's choices that people are going to have to make, very individual choices of what they're going to do and how they're going to deal with this world pandemic. And so it's going to come down to individual choice, because at this point in time, anyways, the federal government is not really stepping in and saying, oh, this is what we have to do, and this is the facts of the matter. What we hear on the news from the president are mostly untruths. And, there's going to be cures, and there's going to be not very many deaths, and there's going to be this, and there's going to be that. And he's, every week he's proven wrong. There's going to be bailouts. There's no bailouts right now. We'll see when we get people to get their checks. But the small business loans, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how the farmers fare. We'll see how that whole middle country is going to fare with all this. And they're going to have to come up with some choices of who to believe and what to do and what to do for themselves to save themselves. So that's the country. The country in a state of temperance, then it's presented himself that what's happening in the world has become more part of their world. So the world situation is becoming part of their world as well. And there's choices they're going to have to make as far as what they're going to do. So that's that. So we'll do, the next one is going to be the coronavirus in New York State. I live in New York State, Western New York. So it's not quite at the hub. Obviously, it's not the hub. But there's a lot of, we've seriously locked down in New York State. And even the small little towns where I live, we're shut down. People aren't going out. They're going to, for walks and stuff. But everyone's keeping their distance and staying home, which is a good thing. New York is still going through a very difficult time at this point. New York City. So let's see what's going on with New York State. And this is about New York State. Here we have the world. Now this is interesting. I was saying that the world pandemic was in the center. Here it's kind of in the past. The emperor. Well, we know who that is, don't we? And then the strength card. Well, this is a very apropos reading for New York State. So here we have the world pandemic again. It's in the past position though. So it's being processed through. It's traveling through. New York State maybe coming closer to some kind of stabilization. And who do we have here? We have this emperor. Of course, it's Mario Cuomo. Let's call him Mario Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo. He's looking back. He's looking at this past, and he's dealing with it the best he can, and he's making decisions, and he's taking charge, and that's I would see that as Andrew Cuomo. So we have the pandemic in full force here, but it's slowly becoming something that isn't a major concern. I mean, it's still a major concern, but it's kind of gone from the present to starting to go in the past. And that's because of this gentleman here, which is Andrew Cuomo. The future is the strength card, another wonderful card to have. And she, again, is looking sort of towards the future, where we gain our strength, we gain our knowledge, we tame the beast, we go forward. So I think this is a really good sign for New York State. They've been through, we're going through this right now. It's in the past. Present is with rulership of the emperor, who is taking charge, and then we find our strength. So we're heading in the right direction for sure. All right. Last but not least is Mr. Trump and the coronavirus. Okay. Jared Kushner, boy, he's in charge of everything. He's in charge of peace in the Middle East. He's in charge of the coronavirus. He's in charge of everything. Pretty amazing. What an amazing guy. Ship of Fools. Ship of Fools. Okay. Mr. Trump. What do we got for Mr. Trump and the coronavirus? We have strength in the past. But she's looking to the future, so that's not a bad thing. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, well, I think we got the Wheel of Fortune for him last time. And the outcome is the Emperor. Well, that's interesting. So let's take a look at this. We have strength in the past, the Wheel of Fortune in the present, and then we have the Emperor in the third position, the future. So what do we have here? We have a lot of we have strength. There's been strength involved with his strength, I guess. I think he's thinking he's got it handled. I mean, the way he does his nightly press conferences. So it shows strength. The government is out there showing strength. A lot of changes are happening here. A lot of changes, ups and downs, spinning wheel. Good days, bad days. Good days, bad days. And in the future, we have the emperor. But he's not looking to the future, he's looking to the past. He's looking towards this wheel of fortune. So right now I would say that he thinks he's doing a great job. He thinks he has a strong group of people. He has mobilized a whole group of people, companies, Pillowman and whoever else to somehow get this under control. People are making a lot of money. He's making a lot of money. People are making a lot of money on this. And but it's a state of flux. He's looking at this changing, but he's not really, is he taking charge of the change? What kind of future do we see here? We see him looking back. I think he's going to have to face things at some point. He's always giving talks. He gives us these nightly news conferences. And it's always like, he always says something new, but it's not, there's no real content to it. There's no real truth to anything he says. So he's there, and he's looking at all the changes and see how he can somehow spin them. But eventually, all this spinning that he's doing is not going to work. It's not going to work. This isn't the worst reading, I think, for Trump for the coronavirus, but I don't really see any growth. I don't really see any movement forward. I see this. The strength card and the strength card and the emperor are sort of focusing in here, which is the changes, so many changing times, changing aspect of the coronavirus. You don't see anything coming out of it that's dramatic. In other words, a push forward in any kind of dramatic way. It's business as usual. It's spin as usual. So it's sort of, I see this kind of more as stagnation than moving forward. We'll see how he fares in the long run, but right now I see it's sort of he's down to the daily grind, but this isn't a daily grind kind of thing. This is something that you have to get ahead of it in any way you can, possibly get way ahead of the virus to get rid of the virus. And this shows just a closing in nature. Okay, well that's my recent reading on the coronavirus, given the cards. I don't know. We shall see. Have a great day.